Hey everyone, Tony Dragon here, and we are about to react to Ratchet Clank versus Jak Daxter Death Battle. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this one. Yeah, with the new movie coming out and everything, of course this was gonna happen. I like Jak and Daxter fine, but honestly, Ratchet and Clank are my childhood. I played almost every single one of their games, except for the Tower Defense one, Full Frontal Assault, and probably like the handheld game, I guess for the PSP and PSV, I was thinking it was like Secret Agent Clank and Size Matters. I didn't play those. But yeah, other than that, I played almost every single Resident Clank game. And yeah, of course, I'm rooting for them. But I will say Jak is kind of broken with his powers, with the Eco. Because I remember that he can turn into Light Jak, which is can fly, shoot laser beams, and heal, and all that stuff. And then there's Dark Jak, which is just like, he's just really like a powerhouse. Just, launch, like, kind of like the Hulk, I guess, with all like enhanced strength, jumping, and everything. And I don't know. But yeah, but Ratchet's arsenal is enormous. I mean, I'm sure they're not going to be able to list everything at its disposal in this video. But it'd be pretty cool if they get some of the major things. One thing I will say is that Ratchet does have a lot of armors too, as well. They're not as well remembered, and maybe they won't even be input into the death battle here. But yeah, some of the armors he had were actually pretty useful. Not just for increased defense, but I think there were a couple of armors that actually specifically defended against like fire and other elemental attacks. So yeah, but I'm really hoping the Groovatron is in here. That's one of my favorite weapons, and the Rhino. Probably not all the Rhinos. I had to choose one specifically. I kind of like the latest one from, I think it was Crack in Time, because it was like, there's no like plasma or anything, it was just like, it's just missile into missile and missile and missile, like 3 variations of missiles just being launched all at the same time with that epic music in the background. That was, I think it was was it the Overture? Yeah, I think it was the Overture. But anyway, let's just look at the analysis and then from there, we'll speculate who's going to win. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Angry Video Game Nerd 2 as Simulation. Fight! Right now! We made it! Cool.
Okay. Here we go. Let me put this on max volume.
Sometimes the most unlikely of friends can become the best of heroes.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank, the Cosmic Commandos. And Jak and Daxter, the Masters of Eco. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh yeah, PlayStation Heroes.
It was a time of chaos. The unstoppable Kragmite Empire wreaked havoc across the galaxy until a race of unlikely heroes fought back. The Lombaxes. Maybe some sort of lemur wombat? Well, whatever they are, they're pretty good at kicking the shit out of Kragmites, and ended up stopping the Empire by banishing them to another dimension. Well, all except one, and boy would that come back to bite him in the ass. Raised as one of their own, the last Kragmite betrayed his foster Lombaxes, raised an army of fish people, and in some sense of cruel ironic justice, banished the entire Lombax race to their own dimension as well.
Ungrateful
and
brat.
just as ironically missed one who would prove to be his greatest adversary. This lone Lombax's name was Ratchet, and he spent most of his days stranded on a random planet,
410.
tinkering around
Alright.
with mechanical stuff and dreaming of one day exploring the galaxy. So this alien kitty cat thing scrounged up all the scraps he could find, used his natural gift with machines, and built a spaceship so incredible it would finally take him off this boring planet once and for...
Best ship ever.
Without an onboard robot ignition system, this hunk of junk would never fly. And with Ratchet's luck, it's not like one was just gonna drop out of the sky or anything. I'll be damned.
I'm so
This
lucky.
the Sentry Bot serial number XJ0461. Well, that's hard to say in conversation. And he makes it
XJ0461. Yeah, not that hard, but kind of a pain.
Clank had just been assembled maybe half an hour earlier and was already running for his life. Yeah, see,
he's only 17 pounds? You would think being metal, he'd be kind of heavier.
Function and made this little guy and decided to scrap him for parts. So naturally, he got the hell out of there, ended up with Ratchet, and together they became the greatest hero duo in the galaxy.
Yeah.
While they started out as an unlikely pair, they picked up all sorts of experience along the way. Ratchet has been trained as a commando and is proficient in martial arts, heavy weaponry, survival skills, stealth, ballroom dancing, and origami.
He Batman. I'm kidding.
Despite his diminutive size,
actually, yeah, with all his gadgets, especially the hook shot, he could be like,
Ratchet
yeah.
can act as a personal helicopter or even a jetpack. Also, turns out Clank wasn't a mistake after all. He possesses the soul of a Zoni, energy-based creatures with the ability to manipulate time and be immune to time-altering effects. And eventually, these powers manifested in Clank as well. That's right, he's a robo-time wizard.
Yep.
Did you say you get this thing? The Zoni. They are little invisible creatures who travel through time. Oh, right.
Both Ratchet
away
and
slowly.
Clank are loaded with nanotech, microscopic machines which instantly repair their bodies after any injury,
Yeah.
though their number is limited. But Ratchet and Clank's true strength lies up their arsenal.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Ratchet's packing your usual Solana-style weaponry, from his trusty Omni-Wrench to rocket launchers. But the real beauty lies in all his wacky weapons, like the Vortex Cannon, which sucks up tiny enemies and blasts them back out like little flaming meteors. The
Look
mini
at them
turret
all.
can deploy dozens
Look
of
at them
auto-targeting
all.
machine guns, which can destroy tanks. And of course, there's also a disco ball, which forces foes to helplessly dance before them.
Can't stop the funk.
Ratchet's gadgetry also includes energy shields, close-range shredder claws, and a variety of drones to assist him in battle. He's even picked up a gun that turns enemies into tiny, adorable sheep.
Aww.
But hang on, we can't forget my all-time favorite,
Oh yeah.
the Rhino 5.
That is a
Part minigun,
beauty.
part rocket launcher. This beauty unleashes a glorious river of death in whatever direction she's facing. All set to Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture. I'm honestly surprised you know how to say his name. Oh yeah, the dude playing my favorite musical instrument. What, the piano? No. Cannons. Oh.
That's
Anyway, in
awesome.
their adventures, Ratchet and Clank have done some pretty impressive things. They were skilled enough to win numerous gladiator battles, strong enough to stop the blow of a war drug with nothing but an Omni-Wrench, fast enough to dodge close-range laser fire, tough enough to survive an explosive shipwreck, and even the vacuum of space. However, their ability to survive deadly blows is entirely dependent on their supply of nanotech. If they run out of microbots, the next blow is sure to be fatal. But Ratchet and Clank's greatest strength doesn't come from any outlandish weapon or body-rebuilding nanomachine. Rather, it is their unbreakable bond of friendship and teamwork.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was so friggin' lame.
Robots about to...
Yeah, it is.
What's that?
But it's fine.
Long
Here we go.
before the world bred life, it was filled with eco.
Yeah.
Left behind by godlike beings called the Precursors, eco came in 6 different types, each possessing a different power. But what became of the Precursors? How did they harness the power of eco?
I don't ever know if that was answered in the
They
games.
say lie in the destiny of the mischievous teenage boy named Jak. Jak was born into royalty as the son of King Dumbass. Dumbass. Ruler
Yeah, I didn't
of
know
Haven
this.
City.
I would have
But
played
Jak
up to like
lost
Jak
his
2,
future as
like
heir
the
to
beginning.
throne when some douche named Baron Praxis overthrew his dad.
Okay.
The former king was separated from his son and banished to the wastelands, leaving Jak to grow up a wandering orphan. Until he was taken in and raised by Samos, the elder of Sandover Village. Here, he met his best friend-to-be, Daxter. Oh, I don't know why he would ever want to be friends with a guy that never shuts up.
The sage yaks on about the precursors that built this place all the time. Where did it go?
Yeah, Daxter.
Before
Daxter
long,
can be
Jak and
really
Daxter became
annoying.
inseparable and did just about all their teenage tomfoolery together. Like stealing a
sometimes question why Jak was friends with Daxter in the first game.
Turns out it was forbidden for a pretty damn
Throughout the whole thing, I just felt like, you know, Jak looks completely annoyed at Daxter, and Daxter just never stops insulting Jak throughout the whole game. When he's just trying to help him turn back into
He
human.
fell into the weasel pool! Well, technically, he fell into a pool of dark eco, which transformed him into an odd soul. Whatever the hell that's supposed to be. Daxter took it pretty well, all things considered.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
By the way, where's the unweasel pool? It's not so simple. In order to reverse Daxter's transformation, they would have to find the Sage of Dark Eco. To prepare them for this journey, Samos trained them to harness the power of Eco and, in turn, to become formidable warriors.
Yeah.
With green Eco, Jak can restore lost health and create shields. With yellow Eco, he can launch energy projectiles from his hands. Blue Eco doubles his speed and reflexes, and red Eco does the same for his strength, allowing him to take down tough enemies with a single strike.
Okay, so it's gliding, not really flying.
Precursor technology sent them tumbling into a dystopian future. It's a long story. Jak was captured and experimented on by Baron Praxis, who wanted to turn him into a super soldier. Too bad he didn't really know what he was doing, and poor Jak was stuck as his lab rat for 2 straight years, until Daxter finally busted him out. Jak was so happy, he spoke his first words ever. I'm gonna kill Praxis. No, my first words were beer. Now, unbeknownst to Praxis, while his experiments failed to turn Jak into Captain America, they did grant him the ability to consume Dark Eco and temporarily transform into the mighty Dark Jak. Dark Jak can use Dark Eco for a bunch of powerful projectiles, and he can even triple in size and strength. On top of
Yeah, so
that,
the Hulk.
Dark Jak is also completely invulnerable.
That's right. We did. Forgot what I told you, Jak.
If one super form wasn't enough, Jak gained another when he came face to face with the precursors themselves. And turns out they're all odsels like Daxter. Oh my god. They gave him the ability to consume
I
light
didn't know that.
to counterbalance the darkness within.
Okay.
Never guess what they called it. Give up is like Jak. In this form, Jak can glide through the air, create a force field, regenerate from wounds, and even freeze time itself. When there's not enough dark or light Eco on hand to run around blasting people with godlike energy, Jak wields one of the most versatile weapons ever created, the Morph Gun. Powered by different types of Eco, it can work like a shotgun, grenade launcher, or minigun. It can fire ricocheting laser shots, homing needles, and even friggin' lightning. And when Jak sets the Morph Gun to mass inverter mode, it can blast a wave of Dark Eco so absurd it alters the very laws of gravity on anybody within its reach.
Huh.
Yeah, but if that fails, they can just blast them with a supernova. It basically one-shots about anything.
It's like a mini nuke.
This place has too much excitement. We need to move back to the country.
Armed to the teeth with weapons and Eco, Jak and Daxter successfully dethroned Praxis and saved Haven City thanks to several impressive feats along the way. Like getting up no problem after being crushed in a cave-in, or tearing through solid metal doors like wet paper. Daxter helps when he can, usually by steering missiles into people, but most of the heavy lifting is done by Jak. Like the one time he did this. Jak and Daxter are incredibly resourceful. They won a gladiator-style battle with nothing but an unmodified Morph Gun. And their drive to win is so strong they even took first in the Crass City Grand Championship while poisoned. Even giant terraforming robots trying to destroy the world fall to their teamwork, provided they have enough Eco. They can only carry so much Eco at once, roughly under a minute's worth in combat for each color type, and so they rely on replenishing their power by pulling Eco from the environment. Also, Jak can be a bit reckless and doesn't always think things through. Even still, don't underestimate the duo of Jak and Daxter. It's the last thing a lot of bad guys ever did. once and for all. But first, remember that game we told you about last time? You can buy it now.
Okay.
The nerd is back on an adventure through 22 levels full of new weapons, enemies, and power-ups with unlockable armor upgrades, epic bosses, and of course all the foul-mouthed carnage old-school platforming action you could want. Angry Video Game Nerd 2 as Simulation is available right now on Steam for PC, Mac, and Linux. So what are you waiting for? Go pick it up. But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Okay, so real quick, now that we find all the analysis and everything, let's see. Well, in terms of Jak's weaponry, it's cool, but it's still not as extensive as Ratchet's. Like I said, Ratchet Clank's, main arsenal is enormous. In fact, he has multiple weapons that do the same thing as the supernova of Jak's. Wipe out everything on the screen. So yeah, the gun is not really going to be much help to Jak, because Ratchet has much more powerful weapons than that. The real challenge that Ratchet will have against Jak is the eco, but they mentioned the time limit for multiple ecos. I'm assuming that's also for the dark and light eco. So even though those two are extremely broken and powerful to a huge extent, there could be a time limit to them. So if Ratchet can survive that minute, we're assuming we're gonna stick with a minute, then they pretty much have a clear shot to take down Jak, because it's just, with all the weaponry, they can just keep barraging Jak over and over until he has no more eco and pretty much is open to getting blown up. The time manipulation for Jak would probably be offset by Clank's ability to manipulate time also. So I'm assuming he'll use it, and then all of a sudden Clank will be like, "Oh no, don't worry, I'll just release you from it, Ratchet," and just they're free from the time manipulation. So that's already kind of nulled. But yeah, Jak is definitely a powerhouse. He's a huge threat for Ratchet, but they've butted heads before. In PlayStation Heroes they met already, and even in PlayStation All Stars they met and fought. You could say that either one's canon, because they have to fight in part of the story mode, so either one of them could have won. So it's not really canon, whoever won that one. But yeah, the thing about Jak's franchise, Oxels, the fact that they're the precursors is kind of weird. Maybe that's better explained and better explored in the games, but the way I just saw it here, it just seemed kind of like a throwaway joke. Because the only Oxel we see, and that I've seen so far throughout the whole game, is Daxter. And to be fair, he's technically not an Oxel, and so he's rather stupid and annoying. So maybe the other Oxels are actually this society of intelligent and sophisticated creatures, and Daxter's just going around giving them a bad name. Way to go, Daxter. You're a burden onto Jak and to your entirely new race. I'm sure Daxter's not that bad, but he kind of comes off as that way, especially for me throughout the first game and a little bit of the second game. Like I said, I never finished playing all of them. But yeah, I'm rooting for Ratchet. I am really, hoping he wins. But if Jak wins, then I'll understand, because he is a pretty dangerous guy to fight against. So, enough of that. Let's start the death battle. Here we go. Okay, they're going to be fighting on Jak's turf. Alright. And of course 3D. It has to be 3D for this one. And they crashed, of course. I like how they're using the,
That's the last time I let Quark fix the warp system. Actually, weren't you the one who overclocked the accelerator? Huh. This is new.
The voices are a little off, but I'll forgive them. It's fine. Close enough.
Hey, do you have any idea what you've done?
Yeah, hey guys, welcome to our home. Make yourself comfortable on the couch. If you can find what's left of it.
Nah, this isn't so bad. sorry for your loss, Mr. Weasel.
Weasel. Well. Looks like it's hot.
Them's fighting words. Oh, we got the extended wrench. All right. Sticking to martial arts for right now. That's good. Oh yeah, the vortex cannon. Oh yeah, the rocket launcher.
No.
Woo!
You're done for.
There, he's got shields.
Watch out, you can't keep up.
So I guess the Eco's like more in reserve.
Rest in pieces.
The hollow shield, nice.
Ratchet.
Okay, for a second I thought he's gonna lose Clank right there.
Can you go any faster? I wasn't designed for this. Let's try this.
The minigun, nice. Yeah.
Any more weapons you want to throw at me?
Oh,
I don't need any more.
you haven't scratched the surface of his arsenal, Jak. Yeah, here we go, Dark Jak. Alright, here we go. How's this gonna go?
Well, maybe just one more.
Oh, yeah.
Ratchet, behind us. Now what?
How is he riding the rocket? I like the music. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, man. Doesn't look too good. Blind him! Here we go. Alright. Am I gonna be right? No, the liquid nitrogen gun. Ooh!
And curtain.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Not the weasel guy. Jak and Daxter were formidable fighters, especially when they had enough ego on hand.
Yeah.
But Ratchet and Clank's better teamwork, superior defenses, and overwhelming arsenal trumped them in the end. Well, they both had ways to patch themselves up. Ratchet's nanotech was way more reliable and plentiful than Jak's great ego. And
Yeah.
Ratchet's shields and incapacitative weaponry were more than enough to put a stop to Jak's more offensive ego. Haha, ain't that nature? While Jak and Daxter's morph gun was one of the most versatile weapons we've ever seen, it absolutely pales in comparison to the sheer size and power of
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank's arsenal. Jak's best shot was his dark form, but like everything Jak and Daxter had, it didn't take long to run out of juice. Well, Ratchet and Clank had more than enough gadgets and weaponry to keep up the fight. Plus, Clank is an infinitely more capable sidekick than Daxter, especially his time manipulation and immunity powers. It was game overture for Jak and Daxter. The winners are Ratchet and Clank.
Sorry, Jak and Daxter fans.
Next time on Death Battle.
Oh, the Flash! Against two. Quicksilver? This is like probably the only one, right?
so much for watching Ratchet Clank versus Jak Daxter.
Yeah, all that time they spent introducing Flash as the next opponent, they could, introduce the second opponent too, but Twitter, Facebook, you gotta follow them to find out. But it's, yeah, it's obviously gonna be Quicksilver. I can't imagine any other speedster that famous that can go up against Flash. But there was already a video of Flash versus Quicksilver. It wasn't by Screw Attack. That was something completely different. But it looked like an already well-made battle, and it kind of made sense. Quicksilver, both in the comics and animated shows that I've seen him in, he never seemed that good of a fighter in terms of Flash. Flash seemed like more versatile with his speed, but that's probably gonna be a different video. Anyway, I am so happy right now that Ratchet won. I'm sorry, Jak and Daxter fans. I can understand if some of that was kind of bull to you. Like, for instance, I guess the fact that they used the hollow shield to block Jak's light form beam. I don't know what you call that. I looked at them thinking like, well, they could have had him just dodge, because they mentioned earlier that he was able to dodge a laser cannon at close range. So kind of connect that instead of having to depend on the hollow shield and claim it was just powerful enough to block it. Because I used that the hollow shield a lot when I think it was the third game that they had it, and unless you upgrade it, even if you upgrade it, it's still kind of underpowered, but at the same time, it's really good at, blocking just everything while you're just preparing for, the actual major battle. Like, you enter a big room with a lot of enemies, and you just immediately launch the hollow shield, and then it gives you time to look around the room and see, like, okay, well, I got enemies over there, there. I can use this weapon and this weapon. Kind of give you time to strategize. But not really one you want to use for, like, supernatural attacks. That I wouldn't depend on it against, Jak's light beam, because I don't know how powerful that thing is. So I would have tried dodging first, and they could have had Ratchet do that. I guess you can say they didn't clarify exactly how much of a limit Ratchet's nanotech was, like how much nanotech he had. Like, if we just assume that he had maximum nanotech compared to, I suppose, I'm going to go with maybe going Commando or even Up Your Arsenal, where they had like this clear little sign, health bar looking thing of maximum nanotech. You could take at least, depending on strength of the enemy, I would say like 20 to 30 hits. It looked like he took a lot more hits in this one than that, but like I said, they didn't really clarify exactly how much health he had, so that could be kind of an issue for some Jak and Daxter fans. But honestly, I'm just so happy that he won. Now, it could be assumed that they had him win because the movie's coming out and just kind of like promoting the film. But yeah, at the same time, it could also be a coincidence. I bet when Sly Cooper movie comes out, which I hope it does, they'll make a Sly Cooper death battle against, I don't know, someone. Who else is a very famous thief? What's that character's name from the actual game called Thief? I don't know. Maybe that'll be a good challenge, but at the same time, maybe not. Who knows? But I bet they'll make a death battle for Sly Cooper when the movie, gets a release date, and it gets closer to the actual movie. So they'll probably do that. Yeah, I mean, they pretty much used the arsenal pretty well. The Rhino just going around, just shooting everywhere at the same time with the overture music in the background. I like that. How it was firing, even though, Ratchet's finger wasn't, pulling the trigger. Yeah, I guess that could be another thing, but it made for a funny scene. Kind of just blinding, kind of or distracting Dark Jak. But, yeah, I knew, Jak's time manipulation would be canceled out by Clank's, and just, Clank would immediately notice, like, what's going on? Oh, shit, time manipulation, Ratchet, oh, thank you, buddy. But they are right on certain aspects. Like the teamwork between Ratchet and Clank is so much better than Daxter and Jak. And yeah, Clank is a much better sidekick in terms of he doesn't annoy, their partner as much. They don't, constantly berate them. Yeah, one of the reasons I really hate Daxter is that throughout the whole first game and part of the second game, he just keeps insulting you and complaining and whining over and over and over, and you're just like, oh my god, just stop, I'm supposed to be stuck with this guy for the whole game. It's like, why would you make him this bad? Some people say he's fine. And like, yeah, maybe at certain times he shows signs of maturity and he's grown as a person or as an oxel. But it for me, it doesn't really offset all the times that he just constantly insulted you and made fun of you for dying when you're trying to help him turn back into, a human or whatever race these guys are. But yeah, the teamwork between Ratchet and Clank was so much better. I can believe that part. And yeah, they could have done the death battle a little differently at certain tough points. In terms of dodging and show more of martial arts, because Ratchet does know a lot of martial arts. But I really enjoyed this death battle. It was a lot of fun. I loved it, and yeah, I guess I'm excited for the Flash versus Quicksilver. It's so obvious it's gonna be Quicksilver. So yeah. Until then, guys. Bye bye.